Gundam.tk presents High Grade Farsia. Hey, what's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net, and I'm here with my final verdict, all the good and bad things that I could pick out about this High Grade Farsia. A very unique suit, so let's get right to the negatives first. So let's start with the obvious flaws, where it's, first of all, it's the design to be standing on that Farsia stand with that clear part underneath it. And if you don't really do that, it's really going to be a little bit limited because it's going to be very small, the legs look a little bit stumpy, the arms are a little bit out of proportion perhaps. It's clearly designed to be up on the base, and when you do that, then you're going to be losing the posability that you'd normally be getting with a Gundam when you can move the legs all over the place. Now, compounded with the fact that it's off there, if you're just going to have these very old school hip joints there, so it's hardly going to move. The shoulders, you have to give them credit because they move in two places, but you've only got 90-degree bends there for the elbows. And the head is, of course, going to be a little bit immobilized because of that backpack back there, which is going to move ever so slightly, but not as much as it could. And my big complaint it would just be is that you could have these wings moving. We've seen all sorts of things like the skirts of the Zetas, where things like that, they're going to move and they're going to move poorly, but it just seems that this could be on a very simple kind of PC9 or something like that, a little round polycap, and at least you could rotate them around and do some different things like that. It didn't seem to do that in the anime, but it seems like with the model that those are the kinds of things that it could have been added. Also, about the stand, it's a little bit disappointing that when you see all the promo art, it's going to be painted up in the nice black color here, and you've got these plates. Now, the thing is, you can tell that this is going to be designed for a future re-release where it's not going to have the base attached to it. But because you've got the black parts here, how hard would it have been to just put a little bit of an add-on on there and then just put that on the top, and then you would have had a really nice color combination where you'd have, as you look down, you'd be seeing the pink on top of the black on top of the pink, and that just would have been a quality combination, I'd say. It is sort of cool that you can have this stand to balance by itself without the clear stand underneath it, but it is unfortunate that once you actually put her on, the weight distribution, because of the way you put the ankles, you could probably fiddle around with them a little bit and sort of cheat and lean her forward if you only put one down. But if you have them in the lockdown position, she's just going to go toppling backwards, and that's disappointing because I thought that you wouldn't have to use that pink part if you wanted to have it a little bit more in proportion with the size of the rest of the mobile suits. As it is, she's going to have to tower over the Vagan counterparts on your shelf or whoever you put her beside. Also, in terms of the bits, yes, they are going to be very, very dull. When you take a look at the box, they're painted up by a pro, and they're going to look fantastic because all the little color details. They do give you lots of etching, though, so you can certainly paint it up yourself. And it would have been nice if they have given you 5 of these clear ones, because you are going to have to cut them down. Now, I know that 5 is just a little bit excessive, and actually small is not all that bad, but if you had more, it would allow you to A, make mistakes with them. It would also allow you to cook them and test out different temperatures and find the ones to get you at just the right level or the right temperature so that you can bend them into a nice rounded position. And in the end, is there a toy alive today outside of some of the robot damacy stuff and things like that, where they have effect parts that can go zooming around and aren't going to look like they're just on a plastic pole? Well, at the end of the day, that's a complaint that really probably isn't going to get addressed for another century or so. So it's probably the best they could have done. Just would have been nice if I had done these in a little bit better way than the quick bends at the unattractive angles that I quickly went ahead and did. So how about the good stuff, though? Because right at the beginning when I went for the unbox there, and I took out all these plates and I saw how many different colors there were on there, including clear parts, 2 of them for the stand and for the chest. Basically, just everything about this thing just screams cool and very, very unique right from the get-go, including the fact that you are going to be getting the poles, despite the fact that, yeah, they're not perfect, I suppose. But anyway, they're still there to go along with some cool silver seals, and those ones on the back, which even though they are recessed and you're never going to notice them because you're hardly ever going to look at this thing from behind, unless it's on a rotating disc like this one. So in addition to the colors and the great looking plates, it's going to be a fun build because I've been building Vagan kits over and over again. Yes, some of them are a little bit repetitive, but this one didn't feel that way because it's just interesting to see, despite its simple design, I'm talking about the waist, the chest, and the legs, etc., when you put it all together, it still feels fresh, and that's gotta be a lot of fun. The ultimate thing about this thing, though, is that it's got such a unique design for the mobile suits. Who's seen a Gundam flying around on a platform like that, and the fact that you can actually have it on the base, take it off the base, it's just unique, and when you combine the very pink colors and the femininity of this kit, it's just something that is, again, going to stand out compared to 99.9% of other Gundam models. If you flip through the Bible, very few are going to match up to this one. The Archer and the Nobel are really the only ones that I can think of, and perhaps the Kublai. Anyway, the stands, I'm actually quite happy with them. This one down here is going to have all sorts of colors in it, even without the clear part attached onto it. The white seals I'm not crazy about, but that light purple is a great contrast there with the dark pink and the light pink that goes on it. Yes, a black base on the top would have been a real seller, but I'm actually happy with the clear part underneath because you're also going to be able to store the extra parts there. You've got the extra manipulators and that little part there, so if you did want to put that part in, you could do that. But it's also just great that you can do an action base. If you take an action base too, you can do Superman poses, which you may have seen in part 3 of this review, that I'm actually really happy with, and probably how I'm going to display it. You're just going to have to put some weight on the back to keep it down. But you can also, in just MS mode, because it's got the waist section with the hole in there, you can attach it in and you don't even need to keep it up on the stand. So everything about this, even though it's going to tower over everything else, I'm still really happy about it because of its uniqueness and just the engineering and the colors all over the place. I'm really happy with the chest. It's very simple. It's got a clear part and a nice silver sticker underneath it, but it's going to sparkle, and the Farsia sword is the kind of thing that I think is going to be better if it's not on a stand here. But anyway, it's exactly proportionate, and I don't mind the dull colors at all. I'm actually pretty happy with it, and it's a cool, unique, while still being Vagan weapon all at the same time. Now the clear parts, yes, they give them to you, and they give you the bits. They're going to give you 5 bits. That's a bonus enough to make it. I think even with 3 on there, it's going to look okay. With 5, it looks sort of excessive, but that's sort of a good thing because you can always just choose to put on less. And 3 poles is more than enough. I mean, really, you can just cut these down because they give you the options. I thought at the very beginning you might have to have all 5 of them coming, or all 3 of them coming out of the bottom base, but because they actually give you 3 on the stand for attachment points, you've got 9 overall. So varying lengths, you can have them bent all over the place, and if you do a better job of it, I'm sure you can have this thing looking really sharp. And I'm also really happy that you don't have to keep the ankles locked down. Of course, why would you have to? But with the Nobel Gundam, when you try to put the ankles sort of in front of each other, she often goes toppling. Whereas with this one, because it's just got that little bit of extra support, if you keep one heel dug in, you can take the other leg, put it in front, and again, that's just going to open it up to more female poses, and it's going to look great because, hey, when you're sending off bits, you gotta do it with style. Final verdict, despite the fact that, yeah, there's a few problems with this kit, overall, it's got to be 80-90% positive. I'm really happy with it, in no small part just because it's so unique. The MS design, the build, the colors, everything about this felt fresh, and where the age line has had a lot of repetition in terms of build and MS designs, of course it makes sense over the course of a 100-year war, but nonetheless, it's just felt this is the freshest of all the kits I'd say that I put together. And of course, just adding another female-esque suit to your collection is certainly something that I'm not going to pass up on, and it captures the power of the anime, as she can fly at you Superman, she can send her hands in different directions, all sending out of those funnels of death, and Dezel can be laughing the whole time behind while she's standing on a stand, which is going to make her really stand out. I am really impressed with this kit, and I think that anybody who liked it in the anime, or just likes unique designs, would like it as well. So for the future, if you've seen the opening of Age 3, or the 3rd generation, you've seen that we've got a mass-produced looking suit back there, and the plates certainly lend itself to that. It won't have a base, it looks like, so you can save on plastic, and that'll lower the overall cost. I look forward to seeing that, but I'm wondering if it's going to have stumpy legs. This one just does seem a little bit too small, but then again, it's sort of like the Lotto twins from Unicorn, where sometimes smaller is better because it's just going to look very different from your regular 18-meter MSs standing all over the place. Anyway, outside of that, could we be getting master grades? So far, no indication outside of the Age 1s, and of course the 2 and 3 will be inevitable. But if we haven't got the Zetas and we didn't get the Gafran, what are the odds of us getting this from only being in an episode? Then again, 1/100 the girl Gundams, outside of, we've never seen the Nobel, so I don't think the odds on that account are very good. But then again, we'll see how the high grade sells, because it seems like it's been a pretty anticipated kit. So why don't you let me know what you think are its chances, and of course I'd love to hear your comments. What do you think of the MS? What do you think of it in the anime? And what do you think of my take on it? And the 4 videos, plus the teaser in general. A lot of fun putting this together, hope you enjoyed it as well. And stay tuned for lots more Age news, reviews, and everything else. Master grades, high grades, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. And now I'm proud to present Gundam.tk's Vagangers. Yeah, somehow I doubt they're going to get 200 million in their opening weekend for some reason. Look, boss, I'm happy to be on the team, but please just don't make me stand next to Dezel. And if we are the temporary Yellow Ranger until the El Dorado shows up, or Dorado L, yeah, we don't want to stand next to that guy either.